South Park has always been about free speech. About saying the things that you're not supposed to say, and then we can all laugh about it.
My opponent is a liar and cannot be trusted.
Oh, why the does it have to be her? I am so.
There's something truly powerful and even relieving about finally saying what is on your heart.
And then after we every last one of them to death, we build a big wall. And if anyone comes over the wall, we them to death too. And then we to death all. Down.
That was one aggressive relief, but there's something super impactful, especially when society is trying to silence your voice. And that is why South Park has been this powerful instrument in the political landscape, because it's a tool to demonstrate absurdity. And finally, we can all laugh at the things that have been bottled up inside for so long. But recently, we've seen a rising effort to silence those voices, and now South Park is under attack. For almost 30 years, Cartman has been this voice that we all love to hate. He'll start the uncomfortable conversation, and that is exactly why he is so vital to the show.
Talking, of course, about ginger kids. Ah, sick!
South Park would never become South Park without Cartman. Because someone has to say the things that everyone is afraid to say, so we can either tear it apart, laugh at it, or maybe even learn something from it, and that's how we grow. Because the heart of satire is also the heart of free speech. You speak, you will get a response, and then we'll either grow in one or the other direction. Without this first step of speech, well, the rest of it never happens. If we can't have a conversation, if we can't argue, if you can't say what's on your mind, we can never grow and we can never develop as a society. And that's what sickens me, not just in the past few years, but especially in the last few months. With social media built into every part of our daily lives, censorship has become a powerful way to control what we can and cannot say. Like, we all felt it back during the flu. By the way, has anyone heard from that lately? Like, what happened? Where did it go? I just checked my phone and I have no missed calls from that crazy ex. Yeah, I told myself to stop checking. Bad habit. Anyway, back to the point. Because this censorship on social media has slowly started bleeding into real flesh and blood. Charlie Kirk wasn't Cartman. But there was a reason South Park used Cartman to represent him in the episode. He was one of those voices. He was loud, abrasive, and to some even a bit offensive. But he was impossible to ignore. He was ready to start the uncomfortable conversations, just like South Park. You can either agree or disagree with the policies, but he represented that base layer of democracy. The right to speak, the right to argue, and yes, even to offend. When someone like that gets taken out of the conversation, it doesn't just silence a man, it chills everyone who might want to speak up next. It's kind of like if South Park gave Kenny a long overdue vacation and decided for a season to just take out Cartman instead. Like, that's bad for all of us. It's bad for the real life show that we call our life. So when I say they killed South Park, I don't mean that the show was cancelled. I mean that they killed what South Park stands for. What has always been standing for, why it's so popular, why it's been so relevant. It's fearless comedy, uncomfortable honesty, and the freedom to laugh at everything. And that's what made this show timeless. That's what's slowly dying in our culture. You silence hate with humor. You fight bad ideas with better ones, not with bullets. Because when speech dies, satire dies right besides it. South Park showed us that you can laugh your way through even the darkest of truth, but only if you're still allowed to speak them.
Hello.
And I think that is the issue that we are facing right now, is that we are all living in this bubble where the algorithm is feeding us things we already like, things we already agree with. So we have no conversations over the aisle anymore. People will just either hate a person or love a person, and they'll be spoon-fed the same ideas over and over again. And they will never actually face something that they can debate. They are never like having to think about what do they actually think about a political topic. Like if you ask most people, they'll be like, oh, well, I don't know. Like I haven't thought about that. Like, how do you not know what you think about a certain topic? That's kind of important. And sometimes listening to something you disagree with is actually the best way to figure out exactly what you believe and what you want to put out there in the world. So I just made this video because I'm a little concerned about where we are going as a society now that, especially on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, and even Twitter, we're starting to see more and more censorship again. It was loosened up a little bit in the beginning of the year, but we can all see the tides are slowly turning yet again. And I'm kind of afraid of where that will lead us. No matter if you're leaning left or leaning right, it's always a bad idea to have less speech. Because if we have less speech, well, at some point, that is just a negative spiral that will end up in total lunacy, where a totalitarian dictator will just decide what you can and cannot think, and there is no room to challenge that point of view. Even if it's a good point of view, a bad point of view, well, you should always be able to talk about it, to discuss, to keep developing as a country. Or we'll just end up like North Korea, where you just have a dictator deciding what you can, what you cannot say, what is allowed, what is not allowed. And I don't think any of us want to go in that direction. Another thing I want to touch on is that I've seen a lot of people in my comments in the recent videos complaining about why are they going so hard at Trump. It's kinda, they don't dig the season, they don't dig the episodes, because why didn't they go that hard for Biden or Harris? Well, I agree. They should have went way harder on those as well, I think that. But I can also enjoy some high quality satire on the current administration. I'm just here for the love of the game, for satire, for humor, for have difficult conversation, to challenge the status quo. I think that's very healthy and I find it hilarious. No matter where I sit in the political aisle, I can have fun with both sides being ridiculous, because it is us versus them. Politicians are a different species, a different breed. We are not in the same level. They see us as working ants. They don't care. So as long as somebody is ready and able to take on the difficult conversation and push the conversation in some sort of direction, I'm here for it. And I'm ready to laugh. And I'll make videos about it. And I'll find it hilarious. And I think that's healthy.
Wait, that thing is Satan? No, I'm not Satan.
Even if you admire somebody, you should also be able to laugh at their weaknesses and their failures, because we are all human. And especially politicians. They do so many things that I disagree with. Even when you vote for something and you expect them to execute on that, they will always somehow flip on a dime and do what all of them have always been doing. Because it's probably not them who is controlling the actions. There's probably someone behind the curtain pulling the strings, and I think my last episode kinda revealed some of that as well. So let's just all have a laugh. Whoever is the target of the next few episodes, the next few seasons, I'm here for it. I just want to have fun, laugh with you guys, and I love you guys. You have been showing so much support, and I think that this is probably one of the happiest time of my life, just digging into this, having fun, and just delivering some political content, some funny content, and just to share my thoughts with you. So thank you guys so much for watching. I am so excited for the next episode coming next week. I am super excited to cover everything about it, and I'll of course share it with you here on the channel. So subscribe if you want to have that conversation with me. Until then, love you, bye, thanks, have a kiss.